Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar, 5 Reasons Project-Driven Firms Choose Microsoft Dynamics 365. We're glad to have you here today in this, what I expect to be a very engaging session. We're pleased to have Robbie Morrison as our speaker today. Robbie has spent over 30 years helping customers build and deploy elegant technology and business solutions. From startups to enterprise class organizations worldwide. His knowledge of the Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem is a valuable asset as he helps Velocio's customers maximize ROI on their technology investments. Today, Robbie serves Velocio customers in his role as Chief Solution Strategist, where he manages the development and deployment of B2B solutions. Robbie received his MBA from the University of Georgia, Terry College of Business. I'm going to turn it over to Robbie now. I'll be back at the end and to review any questions you might have, and we'll answer them for you. With that, I'll turn it over to Robbie.
All right, thank you, Dale. So today I'm going to go over and discuss some reasons that we see project-driven firms making the switch to a modern ERP system built on the cloud, and when to make the choice and how to make the choice on which solution best fits their needs. So hopefully my slides will progress. Yep. So building into what's going to come there, we're going to talk about some common challenges and some ways that you can overcome those challenges, and really how that companies change systems and the reasons they change, like growth or the cost of maintaining their current systems. Maybe they're acquiring a lot of other companies. And then we're going to look at how these project-driven firms are mostly or what they're most focused on in growing their business. Now, of course, this is not to say that there's not a lot more out there and a lot more things that we could talk to. These are just really the 5 things that came to my mind as we were discussing this topic. So reason number 1, speed can provide a competitive advantage. Cloud computing is no longer a forward-thinking pie in the sky type thing. Most technology CFOs are now saying that cloud computing will have a measurable impact on their business this year. It is no longer multiple years into the future or next year. It's this year. There's a lower total cost of ownership when you're looking at the cloud. Being able to access it from anywhere, no matter where your employees are, being able to do their job and get to the information when they need that information. And then all the guarantees of the data safety and the accessibility of that data. The making sure that natural disasters don't wipe out your server room or your colo. Multiple geographically redundant copies of the data that automatically fell over and they're accessible. And then really that security focused. It's a big part of why companies are choosing the cloud and why the speed of the cloud is such a competitive advantage to them. On top of that, a lot is the modern interface, the usability, that continual improvement that you get from being a cloud solution, that the speed by which you get the updates get deployed automatically, and your customizations automatically travel forward with them. Extremely efficient. It's extremely friendly for the modern worker. Another reason, managing the complex contracts. Project-driven firms, really are getting into more and more complex engagements, and they need to be able to manage those in a cost-effective and timely manner. They have contracts that include milestone billing, subscription services, time and materials. There are many times subscription aspects that companies really haven't dealt with before, and they're getting into those. So they need to get a modern system to be able to manage those new revenue streams and manage the regulations that go along with these new revenue streams. And then everyone wants to take their contracts and renew them. So you need to give good service, and you need an easy way to manage the renewal process. a lot of times those renewals might have some type of realignment of the revenue recognition, and you need to make sure that meets the ASC 606 or the IFRS 14, and maybe your old systems had nothing to help you there, or they had nothing to help them. So it's a reason that they're looking. Reason three that we see is, needing efficiencies in these complex project requirements, needing to manage them in an efficient manner without adding a lot of people. They might have, a few projects in the past that they could manage in a spreadsheet, and really, they just manhandled it and made sure that they were meeting all of the requirements through human effort. But as they're growing, or as they're getting more and more of these complex projects, that's just really not sustainable. They need help resourcing the project. Maybe these projects need a special skill set, and in the past, or what we hear is a lot of times recruiting and finding the correct person, even if that's internal sourcing from inside the organization to fill these projects, is really challenging. So, resourcing of projects can be a big efficiency gain. And then having all these complex billing arrangements that may, decrease the cash flow or the cash on hand if not managed efficiently. Project-based businesses live and die based on resource utilization, change orders, and those write-offs of the projects. Most of our customers, I'd say all of our customers, say that their system needs to give them more visibility into their projects and help them to manage the risk inherent in those projects. If you're not managing your project risk, then you're endangering your business. So another reason, the fourth reason we have here, is really bouncing between disconnected and inefficient systems. Project-based businesses, and all businesses, are tired of bouncing between these systems, and the systems not sharing the data and being connected. They're tired of the inefficiencies that come along with that, the additional training, the needing to learn where and how to get to data in multiple systems can really suck the time out of a workforce. And they don't want to be in what I call spreadsheet hell. They don't want thousands of spreadsheets to run their business. They want one place that they can trust, one source of the truth, and they want that one source of the truth to help them decrease all the errors that they have in moving between these disconnected systems. They also want their staff to be working with the latest set of data. So sometimes in these disconnected systems, you might have one person working in one spreadsheet. Later on, somebody will manually or copy and paste data from one place to another to get the latest source of the truth into the other places people are working. And that may cause bad business decisions. It might take a month. It might be only month in or quarterly when the data really flows out to everybody that has decision making needs. And that, not being able to make decisions in a timely manner because of these disconnected systems can really be painful. And then reason number 5 is really a modern BI tool, and predictive intelligence are must-haves nowadays. These modern business intelligence with predictive analytics can really help a person to make smart decisions and really get insight into the data. We used to see BI being pushed off to phase 2 of a project a lot of times. Sometimes that phase 2 never came, and almost BI was thought of as an afterthought. We'll just get the data in, and then somehow magically that'll help us with our business. When the real power of this system is the data insights and the analytics, the BI that you get out of that. And now we're seeing analytics much more being one of the leading edge of of an implementation and the needs of the project-based businesses. These companies see the power in giving that information to the people that make decisions. Don't keep that just for the C-suite. Give that data out in dashboards and automated reports to the people that can take action and drive the business forward. And making that data very easily digestible and understandable. That it really needs to be intuitive on what it means. And then maybe those reports are going out or those dashboards are going out, but they give most of the picture, but you need to be able to drill in sometimes. And A lot of times in the past, that would mean downloading the data into Excel or doing something and or teaching someone how to use a reporting package. Well, with the modern BI tools, you're really able to use natural language to find the insights into the data that you're looking for. So you can ask, Power BI, how, what was my profit margin in April of last year compared to April of this year? You can see those kind of things just by asking and by requesting it in natural language. So I have a bonus reason too. You never, we said we'd talk about 5 reasons or challenges in these project-based businesses, but when selecting Dynamics 365, we really see some other things too. People are a lot of times talking about revenue recognition with the new ASC 606 guidelines, the IFRS 15 guidelines in Europe. A lot of companies are really talking about this too, and everyone's needing to make sure that their systems can handle the new regulations. So we're also getting this a lot too. I just wanted to throw that in because it really is becoming a major talking point when looking at new systems. So it kind of in summary, does your system measure up to these? Is speed becoming a competitive differentiator or separator for you? The need for efficiency and accurately managing the challenges and the contracts and subscriptions of your business. Are you moving to more of an annual revenue model where you're billing either monthly for services or you're billing on a reoccurring basis? Managing those subscriptions, does your system handle that right? Or projects and the expectations of your business getting more and more complex? Is that something you're seeing now? And is there a need for seamless connectivity and easily accessible systems to be able to get insights into what's going in your business? And then rolling right into that modern BI and the predictive intelligence, is your system able to use machine learning and be able to use natural language to find the insights to make the decisions that need to be made quickly so you can move ahead of your competition? And then everybody must be able to handle these new revenue recognition standards. If you're deferring revenue or you're doing any kind of subscription revenue, you got to make sure you can handle that. So all systems got to do it, or you're going to have a manual process outside of the systems. So we build everything on Dynamics 365. That's where it's where it begins for us. So Dynamics 365 is really many different products, including a couple of different ERP systems. But Microsoft saw that all those individual systems needed to be in a unified platform, working together and integrated and providing a better customer experience. So what they did was they really took Dynamics 365, and it's been a long road, but this road to the cloud. And today, Dynamics 365 is really a combination of all of those legacy systems pulled together, and there's one system of record or system of engagement for the company. Everything lives inside of the Dynamics 365, and it's an ecosystem of different views into the same source of data, that same common data model that's underlining all of the applications. It empowers the employees with things they're familiar with. The same look and feel of apps is across the whole ecosystem. So when you're in ERP or you're in your CRM or you're sourcing resources, or you're trying to market a new service out to to new prospects, it all handles and works very similarly. And it really helps to optimize the business across all aspects of the employee base. So at Velocio, we really have 3 solutions for these project-based businesses. We have our Axio for professional services. Axio for professional services is for the larger enterprise. The upper end of the mid-market, people over 250 employees is where it starts fitting. It's built on the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations platform. It manages the full project accounting, project management, and it is a cloud-based solution, but utilizing the power of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation, there is an on-prem solution as well. Then we have Progressus. Progressus is for the same type of solution, but for the small and medium-sized businesses. It's built on top of the Dynamics 365 Business Central solution. It has the full project accounting, project management, and again, it is a cloud and on-prem solution. I'd say most people we see these days are buying it in the cloud. It's just the world's transitioning to cloud, but both solutions have an on-prem offering. And then in between those, and really for a different type of need, we have the Dynamics 365 Project Service Automation, or PSA. It was designed by Microsoft for businesses and that really need the resource and project management, but don't require the project accounting component. So maybe they do their project accounting through a legacy system or some other kind of accounting package. Maybe they have another ERP package that they just want to upload that into. But by being built on and built inside of the Dynamics 365 platform, it's very integrated into the other applications, both Axio and Progressus, and it gives the ability to start with a really resource project management focused solution and then grow into other places there. It's very tied into the Dynamics 365 field service solution. So if you have a field service component, it can be a great solution, and leveraging that common matrix again for being able to handle all of your contracts, whether they are field service or more of a traditional project. So talking a little bit more about Progressus. Progressus is again a next generation PSA ERP software package. It's mobile enabled and architected on top of the intelligent cloud. In the intelligent cloud, it adds advanced project management to Dynamics 365 Business Central. It adds the advanced project accounting, project management, and resource management. And really, with Progressus, Dynamics 365 is the most advanced business management solution for small and mid-sized professional services businesses. Just a quick customer story. We had an engineering firm that manages people, hours, the occasional equipment and expenses. They, of course, have allocations, charges against departments, and track projects, and they needed to implement very quickly and get up to speed as quickly as possible. They were out of Minnesota. They came off the spreadsheets, and they were running about a $15 million company on an entry-level accounting package, plus some manual project processes. They always said they were big enough to get the job done, but not so big that it was crushing them. We implemented Progressus for them in just a couple of months, fully up and running, fully automating their business, and it really has changed and allowed them to grow and take on more and more work without adding a lot of accounting overhead or back office overhead. So next solution, again, this is the enterprise solution. Axio Professional Services is designed on the D365 Finance and Operations, or F&O. It's an end-to-end solution for the project-based businesses. Axio really, it cuts implementation time of that huge solution in Dynamics 365, and it can save many businesses more than 75% of a traditional implementation, at least 50%. It's a amazing product. It's great at handling the multi-entity, multi-currency, multi-taxation, multi-language requirements, and it really has great resource skills management across the application. So, resourcing for multiple entities, resourcing multiple skill sets, multiple different types of skill sets. It's app source based. Both Progressus and Axio are Microsoft app source based solutions. So you can go out to app source, look for them, download them, install them into your app, into your environment. By being app source, they're fully tested and validated by Microsoft to work with the systems and to be able to be upgraded as the systems are upgraded. Axio provides compliance with all of the GAP, IFRS 15, or really all IFRS regulations, Sarbanes-Oxley, and DCAA compliance. Recently, we had a customer that needed to implement a professional services solution for a growing enterprise ProServe company. They needed to get up and running very quickly as they were being split off from a parent organization and being made standalone. We did an implementation utilizing Axio that traditionally would have probably been a 10 to 14 month engagement, and we got them up and running in 4 months. So it really can accelerate and drive down the cost of the implementation. So with that, I'm going to bring Dale back in and ask any questions that maybe came in during this presentation.
Okay, great. Thanks, Robbie. That was some great information about the offerings and the challenges that that can be solved through this technology you talked about. We do have a few questions that have come in. The first one is kind of relating to the title of our presentation today. They ask, how do you define project-driven firms?
So project-driven firms to me really mean that the business is driven by the people, by resourcing a project, and you need to be able to track the profit and loss for the engagement while also understanding the full company's profit and loss. So, Velocio, for instance, we consider ourselves a project-driven firm. We do projects for our customers. We help them implement software, and we charge for our people's time. So that's how I define project-driven firms.
Okay, great. I know that there's, especially like on the small end for Progressus, I've heard of some customers that may not even, you think of project oriented, like a convention and visitor bureau, but they're putting on events, and each event is a project in and of itself and needs to be tracked and tracked and accounted for, which is something I know Progressus works well for a couple of our clients in that area.
Yeah, that's great, Dale. I mean, that's a good point. A lot of companies really, maybe the people isn't the main driver. A lot of them it is, but it's really when you're doing discrete activities and you need to track those activities as an engagement, being able to manage that project. That's when they're really project driven.
Right, and tracking against a budget, etc. So good. Okay. Here's another interesting question. When you were talking about Axio ProServe, and you were giving the example of that customer that you helped, that we were able to implement in a very rapid period of time, much faster than a typical ERP installation. How can you talk a little bit more about how we're able to do that? What enables us to cut 50% of the costs and time for implementation?
Yeah, absolutely. So Axio is we've both pre-configured the solution. So we've taken the items that maybe you don't need warehousing, so we can take the warehousing out of the implementation, and we've really templatized the solution. So by answering a few questions, we can pick and choose the solution that we're going to deploy. And where we used to take and come into an organization and walk up to a whiteboard and say, okay, tell me how you do your business. Now with Axio, we're able to to walk in and say, here's how we recommend that you conduct business. Tell us which parts of this work for you and which parts don't, so that we only have to deal with the variance. We have a system that works from day one, that is deployable and accessible by the users from day one, so they're able to get in and see it and work in it, and then we're able to tweak it to really fit those the businesses. We also have pre-recorded training. We have walkthroughs, demos in the system, so we can have a little mouse come up and tell you, hey, click here, enter this, do this, and step by step for over 300, almost 400 processes for the in the finance, and we add another 220 something in the pro serve space. So we already have pre-recorded training for hundreds of processes that your users need to learn how to do. We have regression analysis that if we need to test or change anything in the system, we're able to automate the testing, so it doesn't require people sitting there and pounding out the testing. So it really just a lot of automation, a lot of templatizing of the solution to take the human aspect out of it, so that we can repeat an implementation very quickly.
Of course, and as you automate, you're taking out the potential of humans making errors. So I imagine that helps as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
All right. Well, that's all the questions we have right now. If you have any additional questions, we're going to show a slide at the end here that you can ask our team, and you can submit your any questions you have that way. But before I get there, I just want to mention a few words about Velocio and who we are and why we're presenting this today. We are we're primarily a reseller of Microsoft's solutions and a developer of solutions, as we talked about today. Our goal is to help you to define where you're going, what's your next, and what does that mean? Well, it could mean to increase gross margin and profitability for your firm, or launch a new product or service, expand into a new geographic market. It might mean that you need to make an acquisition or execute a divestiture and need some sort of technology that could support a new business, etc. It might mean that you're looking to launch or migrate business applications like Microsoft Dynamics in the cloud that will enhance productivity and decrease cost with a connected system. Velocio has helped many companies like yours move to their next. We support one of the largest client bases for Microsoft business applications in the world. We're the only Microsoft partner to be included 23 times in Microsoft's Inner Circle. No other partner has done that. And you can see some stats about our company on the screen here. We've been around for 31 years, and we've collected and worked on more than 10,000 engagements that resulted in more than 50 industrial awards. Some have been based on our consulting prowess, our industry solutions, or our growth. We are the only Microsoft partner in the world that has been entrusted with not only serving clients like you, but operating robust partner ecosystems with more than 150 affiliates and being responsible for product development, marketing, and support for a number of Microsoft business applications. So I leave you with one question. What is your next? So as we move forward, you can see our contact information here on the screen. So please reach out. We'd be glad to talk to you about the challenge you might be having and how we could help you with the solution. We again appreciate you spending time with us today, and I hope this was a valuable session and you got some insights out of it you didn't know before you attended. So thanks and have a great day.